One thing that I've been chatting with people about lately is about depression. I don't know a ton about it, but what I've heard is that if you speak about ways to help people, if you're depressed, you'll be impacted so far. If you write about it, you'll be impacted maybe a little further, but if you actually do something in service to help somebody else, it lifts you out of depression. And so the way we kind of broach the holiday season is, hey guys, there's all kinds of opportunities to volunteer, and we're your family, we're your table family, and let's gather around each other, break bread together, help one another, meet each other's needs, and and that's what we kind of focus on, is that we know that there's difficult times, we know that there's lots of loss, lots of feelings of abandonment at Christmas, mental health issues, stress, all of that kind of stuff. And so, we try to make sure that there's love poured out on everybody, and not just verbally, but through acts of service and, and gifts. We all have our different love languages, and we try to touch on those as much as we can. At the men's shelter, we have 8 beds. We've been full many nights since we opened on November 14th, or reopened, I should say. Currently, we have 6 guys. We had somebody leave today. And we've got to start those conversations with them to see, if anyone does have plans over the holidays. One of our guests said, that he's going home for 8 days. And that was really good to hear. But to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about having that conversation with the rest of the guys, because not everybody has that opportunity.
And as much joy as we try to spread around, there's still quite a few things that happen that bring people down. The stresses of trying to, get gifts for their children, or to make sure that they have a Christmas dinner. It's those things. Even so much as the fact that when they're trying to get gifts for their children, something has to go unpaid, and so that becomes very difficult for most people who are in that situation. And I speak from experience, because when I was first married, my daughter was born in April. My first Christmas, or our first Christmas with our daughter, we were getting very little money. I was laid off work 2 weeks before my daughter was born, and when Christmas came, we knew that my parents and my wife's parents were going to give gifts for our daughter, and but it was still that stress that mom and dad can't get anything because we're paying rent. We have to supply her with diapers and food, and we have to feed ourselves and clothe ourselves and those things. That's a lot of pressure on any family, and that doesn't just stop with me and my experience. That happens every year and all throughout the year. But during this time of year, it becomes even more prominent, and so we have to try. All the organizations, and we have to try to do something to help these people.
And a lot of times, this time of year, also, Heather, you've probably seen this as well. Like through the summer months, youth who are out of home are just camping out in the bush, right? Either over by the high school or the other side of town. There's lots of little hot spots, right? This time of year, that doesn't become feasible anymore, and so they're kind of they're out of home. A lot of them are couch surfing, that kinds of things. So there's that added pressure as well. I was just kind of sharing with Darren earlier today, or I guess my newsletter went out. I had a young woman come in just a couple of weeks, about a month ago now, I think. Just came into my office because of our existing relationship. She came in and she was suicidal. And it took it was just a matter of minutes before I was able to recognize the threat was real, right? And so was able to connect her with the resources in the community that she needed to get connected to that day. Got her assessed up to the hospital, evaluated, transferred for further treatment, those kinds of things. One of the things that I love about our job is that we're able to continue walking with these people right through their journey. And so I was able to spend the day at the hospital with her, was able to visit her in treatment, was able to help her with her follow-up plan when she came out of treatment, right? And it's really neat because a lot of that involved all of our organizations, right? She didn't have a home. We had to find her a place to stay. She didn't have groceries. So, spend a day taking her over to Salvation Army and got her set up that way. And then she didn't have like winter boots or a coat or anything. And we took her over to the table, right? And so a lot of I think it's, I work with a lot of organizations across Muskoka that work with youth. Some are Christian, some are not. What I find unique about Christian organizations is how easily and freely we're able to work with each other. Right, everyone else is kind of working in their little silo, and they do what they do, and there's a lot of competition there, right? It's funny. There's no competition because we're all working on the same team, right?